Hey you guys, it's Peter, and welcome to my channel Peterisms, where I tell stories of my life and just little things that I've learned as I have grown into the person that I am today. And I know that you see a meditation book over here, but I'm closing it up. We're not going to do a meditation today. I'm actually going to do something different. I was sitting here and I was thinking about the meditation that I was going to do for today, and I looked out in my backyard and I saw an Easter egg out there. Well, it reminded me of this blog post that I wrote years ago, and I used to guest blog for the Huffington Post. I haven't done that it's been a really, really long time since I've done that. But I've also written on other blogs, and I've written essays just for myself and for friends and family, and passed them around about family memories and things like that. And this reminded me of this one that I wrote, and I'm going to read something that I wrote today. It's not actually the one that I wrote about, one of our neighbors had their grandkids over. This was like probably 8 years ago, 9 years ago, something like that. And she was playing around in the backyard. I think it was around Easter time, and that's what reminded me of it. And so I was thinking about that today. I was like, you know, I never read any of my own writing on this channel. I've done it on my BookTube channel a couple times, and I think maybe on here I've read a couple journal entries and maybe like one article or one short story that I've read off a blog post, but I haven't like read in a long time. And so I thought, you know what, I think I want to do that today. And the other thing is, I get a lot of questions from people asking me, are you writing another book? If you don't know, I have a book that came out in 2014 called The Before, Now, and After Then, available on Amazon and everywhere else you can find it. It's listed below if you guys are interested in that. I don't ever talk about it on any of my channels. But anyway, and I always wanted to write a book, and it's not the greatest book in the entire world, and it's not the worst book in the entire world, but I'm very, very proud of it. So anyway, I am currently working on 2 books, actually, and if you watch my vlogs, you know that I made a commitment that when I came back from vacation, I was going to start working really hard on both of those books, and one book is a fiction book, but the other book is a book of essays about my childhood, and some are funny, and some are very endearing, and some are tragic. They're honest and raw and vulnerable, and they're what I remember of my childhood. And they all are based around the idea that when I was growing up as a kid, I wanted to be Wonder Woman. That was like my dream. My dad made me a Wonder Woman costume. I'm going to talk about it in here. And I wanted to be Wonder Woman. And so this article kind of references that. But my book of essays or memoir or whatever you want to call it. I think memoir is a little too much when you're 46 and your life's not anywhere near being over yet and you're not that famous. But, you know, it's just a book of essays about my childhood, you know, in vein of like David Sedaris or Augustin Burroughs, things like that. And it's called I'm Still That Kid. Because I think so much that happens to us in our childhood, I think, you know, often we want to just kind of ignore it or act like it didn't have any effect on us, when in reality, it had a great effect on us, and it really still makes us who we are today. And I think to some degree, it doesn't have to tear us down or ruin us, but we can learn from it. You know, it's very much like when Oprah says, you know, you turn your wounds into wisdom. The other thing is that not every memory that we have from our past is horrible, but I think often when we talk about things that have happened to us in our childhood or things that have happened to us in our past, we always look at the negative. We don't always look at the positive. You know, I have so many things from my childhood that happened that were positive that have really made me who I am today in a really positive way. So I think it's important to discuss those things as well, you know, when looking at who am I today and who have I become as a result of the things that happened to me positively, negatively, and indifferent in my childhood. So I want to read this to you today. And it's on the Huffington Post, right here you can see, and it's called I Always Wanted to Be Wonder Woman. And I skimmed over it, but I have not. This was posted on February 18th of 2017. I actually think that I wrote this long before that and then just uploaded it then, so I don't remember it. So are you ready for this? Oh my god, okay. What was it called? I Always Wanted to Be Wonder Woman. Hold on, let's make sure we get the title right, Peter. I always wanted to be Wonder Woman. I'm still not sure what went wrong. I grew up with 2 loving parents who told me I could be anything I wanted to be as long as I believed in it strong enough and put enough work into my dreams. I always wanted to be Wonder Woman. In fact, I wanted it so bad that for Christmas when I was 4 years old, my dad made me a Wonder Woman costume out of a brand new pair of underpants and an undershirt. I even had a long piece of yellow yarn that I could throw around people as my golden lasso of truth, yet it never seemed to do the trick. I had been lied to all too long. I couldn't be anything I wanted to be, not really. The sad truth is that I wouldn't learn this for many, many years. A year after my fantastic costume had been worn out, we moved from an apartment into a house with a full cement basement. That winter, famous internationally for the Midwest blizzard of '79, became more famous locally as the bitter winter of discontent between my parents. Between shouting matches where I could hear my father trying to console my mother, my friend Jessie and I would roller skate in that magnificent cement basement roller rink, she playing the part of Hugh Hefner in a long red kimono and myself as Donna Summers. I actually think it might have been the other way around, in a black wig. We laugh and hold long pencils like they were cigarettes and act like we were hanging out at the Playboy Mansion, something which had become a fascination to both of us just earlier that year. As we pumped our legs across the cement, Donna Summer crooned Bad Girl lyrics under the strung Christmas lights hanging from the steel frames holding the house together, while upstairs, my life fell apart. That same year, I also decided I wanted to be one of the Charlie's Angels, as long as it was anyone but Sabrina. It was becoming apparent to me that women just had more fun in life. While my mom and her friends would sit around drinking martinis and smoking cigarettes, listening to Bad Disco or Fleetwood Mac's Rumors album, they'd laugh and gossip, dancing in their tight jeans and wedge sandals, their long hair flowing down their backs. Thelma Houston's "Don't Leave Me This Way" became my mother's mantra that year, figuratively and literally. She sang and he left, and in retrospect, I don't blame him one bit. My mother was a lot to handle. She fluctuated from baking cookies in the kitchen to playing tennis days on end to reading James Joyce and speaking intellectually nonstop about the importance of stream of consciousness writing and analysis 4 times a week. The year was 1977. I guess it was 1979. I miswrote that. The year was 1979, and amidst blizzards, divorces, and roller skating in the basement, life was really, really good. That summer, all of the neighborhood kids would have baseball tournaments in the cul-de-sac, and even though by that point I could run a base or two, I quickly learned it was safer to hang out on the metal electric box with the other girls, I put in quotations, the other girls, and play cheerleader while sucking on generic flavor ices and slapping our ass cheeks when the boys yelled crude statements. In looking back, I don't remember anyone making fun of me or treating me any differently. I fit in with my short terry cloth yellow shorts with white trim and a matching tank top, complete with knee-high socks and off-brand shoes. My hair hung in feathered bangs, and I felt wonderful. I never wanted to be a woman. I just wanted to fit in and have a tribe of people like myself. I liked being a boy. It just seemed that girls had more fun. In almost 43 years, I don't think I've ever felt more like myself than I did sitting on that gray metal electric box with Jessie, laughing at the boys and slapping our ass cheeks and telling them to kiss it. I was 5 years old. I couldn't wait. I guess 77, so it would have been 77. I couldn't wait for weekends with my cousin Caroline where I could harass her friends and listen to their conversations about softball and boys. I remember our dads taking us to see Star Wars, the Star Wars, for the very first time. Later that year, our grandma would take us both to see Raggedy Ann and Andy. She would only be alive for a few more years, but neither of us knew it at that time. On our weekends with Grandma, we'd lay awake next to each other, both hunkered into one single bed in our jammies, and we whispered to each other while the cars rode away into exciting adventures on the street right outside our grandma's apartment. The next day, we'd wake up to hee-haw and Lawrence Welk while our grandma played bridge with her friends, smoking cigarettes and drinking strong cups of coffee. I so wanted to be one of them, shuffling cards like a Vegas dealer and throwing them down with a cigarette gripped by the corner of my mouth. On my birthday that year, I asked for a doll that would eat and poop. My mother replied, it was called Baby Alive. My mother replied that she thought it was a good idea because one day I would be a good father and it would help prepare me. My father was a good sport about it too, and I still have pictures of he and I hiking in the woods, the poor naked pooping doll and a death grip in my hand. That fall I entered school and the truth came out. One fall day while eating in the lunchroom, a boy made a joke about me being a homo, like the homogeneous milk carton. The mystery was out. I was different, except no one had told me that before. I had just been a kid who was allowed to wear Wonder Woman costumes and lasso the truth out of people. I was able to be Donna Summer or an ass-slapping cheerleader. No one had criticized me either way. Even the likes of me carrying around a naked doll with ratty hair had never fazed anyone. Yet in that one moment in the lunchroom, I was different. I don't even remember who said it. In my memory, I don't see a face and I don't hear a voice. I definitely don't know a name. All I remember is the feeling that accompanied all of that laughter and shame. I stopped talking and grew very silent, suddenly very afraid that my movements or voice might trigger more laughter. There is quite a difference between laughing with you and laughing at you. I have, like many others, experienced both, and they do not feel the same. It would take many, many years, almost into my late 30s, until I was once again comfortable to move freely and speak with the tongue I was naturally given. But I have never again felt that way I felt on that gray metal electrical box. Sometimes I wish I could go back to those carefree days of bad girls and roller skating through a blizzard. Hell, I might even be Sabrina if it meant I could be one of the Charlie's Angels. And many, many times I have dreamed of flying away in an invisible airplane. After all, I still kind of want to be Wonder Woman. So anyway, let me know what you guys think about that in the comment section below. I didn't think it would make me cry a little bit. I love you. I hope you're having a wonderful weekend. And if you'd like to hear more of my reading, let me know and I will read some more. And I will see you tomorrow. Bye.